Families are meant to take care of each other, even when it feels unfair. His mom's now cancer-free, but her health has never really recovered from all the treatment.
It will never not be terrible from this point forward. But she is home, which is good, and she is stable, which is good. But it's awful. It's awful. I mean, she is largely confined to bed, but her spirits remain really good.
How often were you able to see her in person while she was going through various treatments?
Not often. I mean, a couple times a year, maybe. But every time she would undergo something, it would be like, oh, don't come down. I'm fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And I would allow myself to be like, okay, well, it's fine. She doesn't want me to come down, and I won't. And then I would come down for various. This was when she was living in Florida. She just moved to San Diego a couple of years ago, and there have been times where I have gone to her when she's had like a major surgery and stayed with her for a few days. But I don't see her that much. I mean, we talk a lot, but just for geographic reasons, it's very hard to see her.
What's that been like? Because I don't live in the same place as my parents, and I see them a few times a year. And when they're aging, just that alone can be kind of startling when it's been 6 months since you've seen your parents. When your mom is physically diminishing with each visit, what's that been like?
It is, I mean, it sounds glib to say it's tough, but it is. It's tough, but I guess the thing that keeps it okay is that her brain is the same as it always was. She, mentally, she's all there. She's fine. It's just, all the indignities of her physical self that are, an affront to her and to the life that she wants to live. So it's difficult, but, the way I respond to it largely comes from the way she presents herself mentally.
With Michael's sister Susan, it's more complicated. She's currently in a home with other adults with mental disabilities.
Annoyingly, she lives in Florida. I say annoyingly because now she's the only one of us who lives in Florida. So my mom can't travel. We're not down there very frequently. And so it seems to make sense to bring her up here. On the other hand, she's been living there so long, it may upset the apple cart more to move her than to keep her where she is.
Did your sister make the choice to stay in Florida when your mom left?
Oh, no, my sister's incapable of making decisions like that. She has Down syndrome, but not in the like McDonald's commercial kind of Down syndrome where they're just sort of quirky people who can overcome anything. She is very severely disabled, and she can walk and talk and all of that, but she can't take care of herself, and she is incapable of making those kinds of decisions. And this has been a source of much discussion and conversation between my wife and I, and my brother and I, and my mom and I, and we have no good answers. And also, just to deal with the different states to figure out even where she would go or how that would work. It's incredibly complicated and frustrating, and you never seem to get the right person on the phone. And so it's sort of in stasis right now. And I just sort of feel paralyzed. I don't know what the right thing to do is. It's been terrible. It's been really. I mean, that's the thing I feel worst about, is just the situation with my sister.
Michael now lives in the Connecticut suburbs with his wife, kids, and their dog. In other words, with all the trappings of stability. But it doesn't feel that way to him.
Now I have a house I can't afford. I had another house that I was affording fine. Now it's just the end is nigh.
When you chose to build the house in Connecticut, how were you feeling that you felt like, yeah, I can make this major investment and build a house for my family?
Well, I was running numbers, and which is something I sometimes do. And I looked at how much we had in the bank and our investments and how much I'd set aside for retirement and how much I'd set aside for the kids to go to college. And I have always saved money, and it was occurring to me that I didn't really know why I was saving money to just save. And I felt like this is something that my wife and I want to do at some point in our lives. We want to like build our own house, and sort of like a dream. So if I feel like I can do it now, why not do it now? And the answer, as I found out, is because I couldn't. But I didn't know that when I made the decision to move ahead.
How much does the new house cost?
How much does the new house cost? Much more than I thought it would when I said to my wife, hey, I think we could afford to build a house. Nope. No, I couldn't. The back of my mind is always like, well, this is great, but how are you going to pay for it, idiot?
Are you saying yes to things that you might have said no to before?
Probably not. I'm probably saying yes to the same things I would have said yes to. My prerequisite for taking work right now is it fun, or does it pay enough that I can't say no? And that has served me well. Like this interview, for example. So much money I could not say no.
Not fun.
Not fun. But so profitable.
Comedian Michael Ian Black. You could read more about Michael's family, his slight paunch, and his long-delayed date for a colonoscopy in his new book, Navel Gazing. He's also the host of a couple of podcasts, including How to Be Amazing and Mike and Tom Eat Snacks. And he's got a new game show on Pop TV.
It's called The Easiest Game Show Ever. And it's not. I mean, it's hard. But I don't care. I get paid either way, whether it's easy or hard, I get paid.